More than 150,000 illegal immigrants have entered Britain since 2018.
All I know is I'm glad I grew up when I did. I would hate to be growing up into the world the way it is now.
Over 35,000 of them are living in hotels across the country, paid for by the taxpayer.
Crewe's just full of homeless, white British, their own people.
They should be housing our people first before they house other people.
Before their election, Labour promised to close down migrant hotels, but the number of illegals occupying hotels has increased under their watch by thousands.
The bath is now full, so we need to turn the tap off.
My name is Stephen Edgington and I'm a journalist at GB News. I went to Crewe in the north of England, where a previously closed migrant hotel has recently reopened under the watch of the local Labour MP, Conor Naismith. I began by speaking with the local cab driver and a member of the Reform Party, Nick.
So Crewe obviously is a historic northern town, quite working class, has a long history, and it's not used to having, presumably, a lot of young African and Middle Eastern men, coming into the town in big numbers.
It's the large numbers of young men in their early 20s, without dependents, without family, that really create a lot of the anxiety that people have with it, particularly women who feel threatened by these groups of young men hanging around. Now, they may mean no harm whatsoever, but they still give out that threatening air to the extent that many women won't use Crewe Town Center anymore.
And the point is that Labour actually promised to close down these hotels. And am I right in saying that actually some of the hotels did close down in Crewe for this purpose, for migrants, but then they've now reopened again? So this idea that Labour have promised to close down the hotels hasn't quite worked out.
That's true, but not just in Crewe. Across the region, we see they close a whole hotel down, and then the hotel gets another contract, and 3 months later it's operating again. So I suppose they can legitimately say that yes, we closed some hotels down, but then they open them up again.
So where are you taking us now?
This is fairly typical of the hotels that have been taken over. It's a hotel that in the past was fairly upmarket. It had weddings there and business meetings and so on and so forth. But as you'll see when we get there, we won't be able to go in because there are security guards on the gate, and the entire premises has been taken over for this purpose. There you see.
So it's completely closed
big chain
off.
on it, and you don't get in unless you've got the man with the padlock.
So this is quite a luxury hotel, it looks
like.
It
is quite a luxury
hotel. It looks lovely,
hotel.
and all the bushes are all very
And if you look at the signs they put up there, no entry, authorised personnel only.
Wow. So you're obviously a taxi driver, and you actually have had to pick up some of these migrants from the hotels, is that right?
Quite a few times we've had contracts to move migrants from one place to another, one hotel to another hotel.
How many more of these migrants do you think we can take?
The bath is now full, so we need to turn the tap off. That means no net migration. That still leaves scope for a limited number of people to come to the country who have particular skill sets, but no more than those that are leaving the country. And now we're coming up towards Crewe railway station.
So this is a migrant hotel right opposite the Crewe railway station near the centre of town. So you get a lot of migrants walking around in the centre here.
Correct. But the same sort of A4 printed notices that you saw on the previous hotel stuck up in the window there. No entrance, that sort of thing.
Labour argue the asylum system was broken by the previous government. To discuss Labour's point of view, I sat down with Peter Edwards from the website Labour List. Labour promised before the election last year that they were going to close down migrant hotels. The number of migrants staying in hotels has actually increased on their watch by some thousands. What's Labour's position on this?
This has been years in the making because of a struggling borders and asylum system. Labour want to end the use of hotels, and that's quite understandable because there's a lack of dignity for the asylum seekers in hotels, and of course a huge cost to the public purse. And sometimes, to be frank, there are tensions between the people in the hotel and the local community. So it's not a good outcome, but as you indicated, there's enormous backlog, and that reflects borders, that reflects perhaps a lack of manpower and woman power in the Home Office at times, and of course a sclerotic legal system where there have been particular issues about legal aid. So Labour wants to tackle all these things, and it wants to essentially clear the backlog where we've got, by some estimates, 30 to 40,000 people awaiting processing in hotels.
So is your view on this that this was a Conservative problem, this happened under the Conservative government, and basically there hasn't been enough time for Labour to sort this out?
Well, this problem built up over more than a decade, and of course it's legitimate for any journalist or think tank to challenge and criticise the government. They do, but Labour have been in office for fewer than 12 months, and this is a problem that arose over the course of 14 years and more Prime Ministers and Home Secretaries than I can recall. But Labour have pledged to cut the backlog, and they've pledged to end the use of hotels because it's bad for the public purse and it's an indignity for the people living in hotels, and it's tough for the community. But it looks like that's going to take years rather than months, and that's probably, I think, a welcome statement of hard-headed realism.
Since 2018, over 150,000 illegal migrants have entered Britain through small boats across the English Channel. This crisis has led to a public outcry, with immigration and asylum now the second most important issue concerning Brits, according to YouGov.
There's some hotels here in Crewe which house migrants. What do you think about that?
I think it's wrong, to be honest.
Why?
Why? Because I tried to get in a hotel about 6 weeks ago, and I wasn't allowed to be accommodated because it was full with the migrants.
And Labour said they were going to shut down some of these hotels. Obviously, they haven't done that. What do you think about how do you think Labour's handled the issue of illegal immigration?
I just don't think they're handling it very well. I don't think they should. Don't let them in the first place. They're housing all the wrong people, and then you come round town in the morning.
People like veterans and homeless people and stuff like that.
It's full of all the Crewe's just full of homeless white British, their own people.
They should be housing our people first before they house other people.
You walk everywhere, it's just a different language being said from Polish, Romanian, Albanian. It's everywhere. It is everywhere.
If you move somewhere, you should learn the language, shouldn't you?
Yeah, they call it
like if one of us moves to Turkey, you'd have to learn Turkish or whatever you want, yeah.
Do you think it feels like England anymore?
No. They call Crewe now, as a joke, Crewski. That's their name of it now, Crewski.
Really?
Yeah. So
it's not Britain anymore.
It's broken Britain. Britain's broke.
Do you think it's right that migrants are being put up in hotels by the taxpayer?
I don't think they should be here in the first place. A lot of them coming over illegally, they should. We're overcrowded with people as it is, and we can't look after the people we've got here, and they're just coming in hundreds of thousands, and it's ridiculous. Where's it going to stop? Everybody's suffering like mad. The present government aren't helping one bit.
Keir Starmer says that he is solving the issue of illegal migration, he's deporting people and so on. Do you trust him to solve that issue?
No. We're paying millions to France to stop them coming over, and they're just standing there and stop giving them the money. It's just that we're handing money out to everyone, and they're not doing anything. They're just laughing at us, France. They don't want them there, so they're just going to stand there and let them come. We keep taking them in and taking them. Where they're going to put them? I mean, they're building so many more new houses. There's no infrastructure for them. There's hundreds of houses being built. There's no schools. There's no doctors. There's nothing for them. It's It's just getting crazy, absolutely crazy.
People like Keir Starmer say that diversity is a strength and that diversity makes places better. Do you think that diversity, ethnic diversity has made Crewe better?
Crewe, no. You walk round Crewe and you're lucky to hear English spoken. The place is a dump. It's terrible. I only come because I want to go to the bank.
Do you feel that Crewe has become a worse place over the years?
Well, I've only lived, I lived near Nantwich. I've only lived here sort of 4 years. But you only got to hear people talking about Crewe, how it was and how good it was. All I know is I'm glad I grew up when I did. I would hate to be growing up into the world the way it is now. And I know my younger son, they've made the decision and said friends of theirs they're not going to have children because they don't want to bring them up in the society it is now.
Over the past few decades, immigration has transformed Crewe, boosting its population and diversity. Between 2001 and 2021, the foreign-born population of Cheshire East, which includes Crewe, grew from 3.8% to 7.8%, reflecting a significant influx of non-UK residents. This rapid increase has put pressure on local infrastructure and transformed the town's identity for many.
Do you think it's right that illegal immigrants are being put in hotels in England?
Yes, I do.
Yeah? Why is that?
Because we must have invaded their country at some point.
Right.
Or we've had something to do in the behind the scenes with America to invade their countries. So of course we can't stop them. We don't have the laws here to stop them coming into this country, even though we've come out of the EU. So of course they're going to come into this country.
But do you think it's fair they're being put up in hotels whilst, people are homeless and that sort of thing?
Well, the homeless, I know they've got a scheme in Crewe for the homeless. They house them and give them white goods, appliances and everything. But I don't know about the rest of the country. But yeah, it is unfair, but it's... you tell me how you're going to solve it.
There is a migrant hotel just around the corner from here. What do you think about the issue of migrant hotels in Crewe?
To be honest, I think there is a lot of anger, if I'm honest, especially with the NHS and everything and the pressure. And I know where my daughter lives, there is a massive, where a lot of immigrants are in there. And I just think it's wrong because I don't think the government looks after its own people. And I don't think Britain is Britain anymore. I got nothing against them coming in and everything like that. But I just think, it's just getting to the point now where I just think it's ridiculous.
You trust Labour to stop the illegal migration? They say they're going to end the hotels and things like that.
No, I don't believe that for 1 minute. No, I don't think so. I mean, I could be wrong, and I pray that they prove me wrong, but I doubt that for a minute. No, I don't think they will, to be honest.
And did you vote for Labour in the last election, or?
No, Conservative.
Conservative.
Yeah.
And who are you thinking of voting for next time round?
To be honest, I don't think I'll bother.
Do you think it's right that illegal immigrants are being put up in hotels?
Depends on the circumstance of the immigrant, really.
Yeah.
I feel so sorry for them because how would we feel if it was our country? But now we're getting swamped with it.
We're getting swamped.
National health is going down the tubes because they're treating more foreign people. I won't say immigrants, I'll say foreign people. And dentists, I've moved up from Portsmouth and I was shocked. I've been on National Health Dentist, I'm 78 now. I've got to pay private, £95 for a clean.
How do you think immigrants have changed Crewe and changed England?
No comment. No comment.
What should be done to solve the immigration crisis in Britain? I sat down with Ben Habib, the former deputy leader of the Reform Party, to discuss.
In this pursuit of global prosperity, global integration, the promotion of everyone other than our own people and our own interest, done away with the democratic sovereign unit that is the United Kingdom, and it is the end of nation states that I think we face. We need to, needless to say, or perhaps needful to say, deport all illegal migrants, have a program for repatriation of those who are here legally, and actually I would have a moratorium, an absolute moratorium on the right for indefinite leave to remain, and a moratorium on handing out British citizenship to anyone, I don't care whether they're here legally or whatever, anyone, until we have got our borders under control and we have sorted out the cultural constitution of our populace.
Despite Labour's pledges to smash the gangs and end the use of migrant hotels, the crisis has continued under Keir Starmer's watch. It remains to be seen whether their strategy will end the small boat crossings. A Labour spokesperson said, "The last Conservative government broke the asylum system and allowed a criminal smuggling industry to establish itself in the Channel. It remains our absolute commitment to end the use of migrant hotels over time, while reducing asylum accommodation costs. The safety and well-being of the local communities with asylum accommodation is of paramount importance. Labour's plan for change is restoring order to the system and driving up enforcement. Since July, returns are up to their highest level in half a decade. Some 19,000 people with no right to be here have been removed, and we've increased enforced returns by 24% and illegal working arrests and visits by 38%.